Yo, what's up everyone? This is Kaizouwar here. So we are just a little bit away from the release of Bleach Rebirth for Souls. Normally I don't pre-order games, but I really had to pre-order this one because not only was it actually just 40 bucks when the pre-orders went up for the very first time, I just really wanted a brand new Bleach console game. It has been years since Bleach Soul Resurrection. I think it came out in 2011, so it's been 14 years since we had a Bleach game that actually, was on console. And I'm not counting, the console releases of Bleach Brave Souls. Those do not count. But besides all that, the game looks great. The game is sounding great. I really hope we get a soundtrack drop eventually, but that's not here or there. I want to talk about the roster real quick because now it seems that we have a complete base roster of 33 characters, and we're going to get a season pass featuring 5 characters from the Thousand Year Blood War arc, which is pretty cool, right? So that'll, combine that with the season pass, that'll be 38 characters once that's all completed so far. But so far for the 33 characters, we have Ichigo. We have Ichigo again in his Bankai state, and we have Ichigo again in his Final Getsuga Tensho state, which was dropped not that long ago, which I was not going to make a full video on, like, Dangai Ichigo, but I guess I'm talking about it now. Dangai Ichigo looks amazing. Of course he does. He's the king of anime drip, so he has to look good, or otherwise, I mean, what are we doing here, right? So we have Chad in the game. We have Uryu, Urahara, Yoroichi, Yamamoto, Soifone, Gin Ichimaru, Kira, Aizen, Byakuya Kuchiki, Renji, Komamura, Kyoraku, Kaname Tosen, Shuhei Hisagi, Toshiro Hisugaya, Rangiku, Kenpachi, Hikaku, Mayuri, Rukia, Kaien, and then we got the visor, the only visored, like, the only visored in the game, if you're not counting like an assist, that being Shinji, and then after that we have the Espada in the form of Stark, Haribel, Nell, Ukiora, Noitora, Grimjow, and Saozaparo. So we got a pretty stacked roster. I know a lot of people are complaining about, okay, well, where's Orihime? Where's someone like Ukitake? I think the producer of the game actually mentioned as to why these characters aren't here. If I remember correctly, the quote was about how these characters were difficult to implement into the game because their true abilities or something like that weren't truly displayed until the Thousand Year Blood War arc, and that their abilities would be difficult to implement into the game with the whole, reversing fate stuff. Now, I find it weird because Orihime doesn't, like, use any new skills in the Thousand Year Blood War arc, like, at all. Like, her as a matter of fact, her newest ability was in the Fullbring arc. So basically, we have a fully stacked Orihime to actually play in the game, but whatever. I guess they just did not wanted to bother putting Orihime in, which is weird because damn near everyone you think of will be in this game is already in this game, right? So Orihime is just a weird omission. I don't understand why. I mean, the quote from the producer just sounds like an excuse. I don't know. Ukitake's another weird one because we don't see him do much, we don't see Ukitake really do much. He really only had one fight, like in the, well, I mean, if you really want to count him teaming up with Shunsui against Yamamoto, but that's not really that wasn't really a fight at all. But we've seen some of his abilities displayed during his fight with Stark. So I mean, I don't know how they could have turned it into the game. I mean, I feel like they could have made up something at the very least. I mean, it isn't the first time that abilities have been made up for characters. Look at Bleach Brave Souls. A lot of those characters who never fought ever had abilities just made up for them in the game. So I don't see why they just couldn't do it here. The development team could have figured it out, but I guess they wanted to be as accurate as humanly possible, I guess. So, whatever. I'm sure Orihime is probably going to be DLC, which is going to be weird. I know a lot of people aren't going to be happy of, like, having Orihime, of all people, one of the main Bleach characters, as DLC. But overall, I am happy with the roster. Yeah, I do have there's some weird omissions. Like, Barragan is a weird omission. I know a lot of people have been bringing up Barragan, but it's just so weird. Like, he's an incredibly popular character. He looks cool as hell in both his forms. So I'm just sitting here like, damn. Like, I guess the development team, we're just not fans of Barragan like I am, I guess. But they definitely were fans of Shinji. He got a special character trailer. They were definitely fans of Kaien. Oh yeah, he got a special character trailer. And technically, you'll be able to play as Araniero through Kaien as a skin. So it's still 33 characters, but I guess it's 33.5 if you want to include Araniero as Kaien. But yeah, I like the roster. Again, weird omissions. I really do think that Orihime, Ukitake, Bargain, you know, like those are weird omissions. Yeah, Zomari is also well, but I don't really care about Zomari that much. And the same goes for Yami. I don't really... Like, I get they should be in the game because, you know, it feels weird having the Espada here, but not all of them. I mean, if you really want to be technical about it, Loopy should be here too, but it's Loopy. Don't give a shit about Loopy, bro. So yeah, characters like Zomari and Yami, or Yami, whoever you want to pronounce his name as. Yeah, it is weird to see, and Bargain, it's weird to not see these characters here at all. It's just so strange. It's also strange to have all the visors here, but again, I mentioned before in my previous video that, like, if you were going to choose any of the visors, it would just be Shinji. He's the leader of the visors, and he's one of the most recognizable characters of that group. So it would make sense why Shinji's the only person there. And Hiyori being part of his moveset is actually pretty crazy. I mean, if they really wanted to go all crazy, all the visors would be part of Shinji's moveset, but I feel like that would have been too much. Also, no Fullbringers, which is, again, weird to me, but since... for what we've seen in the trailer so far, they're not covering the Fullbring arc. I wonder if that's going to be like a separate DLC, like how Dragon Ball Z Kakarot has been updating its game for like a while, and each new DLC is just another part of, like, you know, the series being expanded upon. I assume that's what's going to happen with the Fullbring arc, because I feel like you would have to have the Fullbring arc and like the characters, but it begs the question of how they're going to be implemented. Like, is the Fullbring arc going to come out with all the characters? But it would make sense because they're releasing these characters one by one, so I don't know how the Fullbring arc is going to be represented, if at all, because they skipped it straight to Thousand Year Blood War, which makes sense. The Thousand Year Blood War arc is the most current version of Bleach right now, so it only makes sense to have that represented in the game. It just feels weird that we're leaving a gap in the Fullbring arc that's actually canon to Bleach and actually super important. So yeah, whatever, I'm okay with it. But the roster is fine. Again, omissions, but I don't see like anyone in this roster I would think is a weird placement. I know a lot of people aren't fans of Kaien being in the game, but Kaien's very important to Rukia's character, and you do see him in the story parts involving Rukia, including, you know, her flashback and the fight against Araniero. So it would make sense why Kaien's here. Plus, through that way, you could actually have Araniero be playable. So it would make sense. I mean, why have just one without the other? It just wouldn't make sense. I mean, if you're going to have Araniero playable, why not have Kaien be playable? And if you're going to have Kaien playable, why not have Araniero be playable? It just wouldn't make sense. I feel like the only character I probably would, you know, have a little bit of complaint about is Izuru. Like, Izuru, even back in the Soul Society arc, wasn't really important. And he really didn't do much in the Arrancar arc, in the Fake Karakura arc, if you want to, you know, count those together. So I feel like Izuru of all people should not be in this roster. I mean, I'm fine he's here. He'll probably play crazy because every character plays uniquely, which is cool. But character-wise, I really feel like he's just a slot that it could have been anyone else. I'm not that type of person who says wasted slot. I don't want to be that guy, because I feel like if all the characters play uniquely, then it shouldn't be a wasted slot. Doesn't matter how my opinion of the character affects that. But I feel like, I'm not gonna lie, the entire list I'm okay with. Like, everyone in this roster should be here. But Izuru, I feel like, could have been replaced with anyone else. Orihime, for Christ's sakes, man. Orihime should have been here over Izuru. And I feel like no one could argue with me over that one. And, you know, a lot of people could say, okay, what about Shuhei? Like, why is Hisagi here? But, like, I feel like Hisagi is not important, but he does have some decent fights. I mean, his fight against Fendor was pretty cool, and he is present during the fight with Tosin, which would make sense. Kawamura's there, he's here, and Tosin's also here too. So, of course, Hisagi at least has more of a stage presence than Izuru does. I swear to God, that's crazy. Yeah, a lot of people say Momo too. Yeah, Momo did have, like, I think 2 fights, but they weren't really, like, fights per se. I guess, like, if you really want to have Momo be there for, like, you know, her confrontation against Hitsugai in the Soul Society arc alongside Izuru and Ichimaru, yeah, but that really wasn't a fight. And there was also that fight she had with Rangiku against the Tres Bestias during the Fake Karakura arc, but that didn't really lead in anything either, and Rangiku did most of the heavy lifting, so I don't know. I don't know. Momo should be here, but I feel like, I mean, Momo is important to the Soul Society arc. You know, so she's a prominent character, so it does feel weird not having Momo here either. I feel like Momo could have been swapped out for Izuru. I feel like that should have been the case. I feel like of all the characters who could have been swapped out Izuru, it's either Momo, or if you want to keep someone strictly the Soul Society, it could have been Momo, right? Swap her out for Izuru. Like, I feel like Momo's more important. I mean, she doesn't have many abilities to display, but Kira doesn't either, so I don't know. But anyway, the roster's fine. The roster's fine. I'm okay with it. 33 does seem like a good number, right? I wasn't expecting something like Sparking Zero to have 100, 200 characters, because all these characters play differently from each other. With Sparking Zero, like other anime games of this sort, you have a lot of characters that kind of play the same. So, but I see Tamsoft is trying to go the extra mile and trying to keep these characters unique, including 3 Ichigos, which I don't think anyone should complain about 3 Ichigos if they all play differently, right? The fact you have Ichigo who's like the base Ichigo who's awakening is Bankai, that's fine, right? But you have Bankai Ichigo, who does play differently from the awakened Ichigo, right? And his awakening, which technically I guess is a reawakening, he gets full holification, while his regular awakening is just regular holification, you know, which is the full mask, and then he reawakens to have, you know, Vasto Lord Ichigo, right? And then you have Final Getsuga Tensho Ichigo, who essentially just negates the rules of the game, because he doesn't awaken at all. And basically, his first and second super moves, or the Kikon moves, don't destroy the gauge on the opponent. But if he does a third one, he will automatically kill his opponent, which I think is perfect. Having him Mugetsu someone and instantly kill him is so fitting. I like that. I know they're probably going to balance him out once you either unlock him in the story mode, because you have to play, from what I hear, you have to play through the story mode to unlock him, right? So I guess they're going to balance them out once, this game actually, if it does take off in the competitive scene. If it somehow does, that'd be great. But I'm super excited for this game. The roster is fine. I have no complaints outside of Izuru. I don't even hate the guy. I just would think anyone else would take his place, but whatever. But yeah, I think the roster is pretty fine. Again, the game looks amazing. I think this is crazy to see Bleach have a full AAA console game. It's crazy. They're going hard in the music. Getting Takaharu Ishimoto was an amazing idea. Again, one of the peakest ideas I think Bleach has ever done was getting Takaharu Ishimoto. His music fits Bleach so perfectly, right? Obviously Shiro Sagasu's king, GOAT, absolute Chad. But Takaharu Ishimoto's style really fits Bleach. And the music seems very diverse, just like his Neo the Worlds With You music and just his music in general. Takaharu Ishimoto has a very diverse style of music, and I'm glad that's transferred over to Bleach, because he can finally go all out in Bleach. I really think that this is a soundtrack he can really go all out in, because, games like Kingdom Hearts 3, he felt very constrained. He felt very limited at what he can do, and you definitely can tell he did not get the budget. He definitely needed to go hard like he usually does, because he definitely could have, because people wouldn't complain so much about that game. But I feel like Rebirth of Souls is his chance to finally go super hard in a game he hasn't, a game he was able to, reach his full potential. It's crazy. But yeah, I really want to talk more about the roster in this list and my preparations for this game. Apparently, according to Amazon, my copy won't get here until March 25th. Don't know if that's going to change, but I won't be able to play the game until 4 days after the game launches, which is a pain in the ass, but I'm okay with it because I still get the game regardless. And hell, I saved $20 by that botch pre-order launch, so I'm cool with that. So yeah, my opinions on the roster, perfectly fine. I have no complaints. I am really super excited for Bleach Rebirth of Souls. I am waiting for this game. I really hope it comes out soon. Well, it is going to come out soon, but I hope it comes out sooner, now. I want it now. But yeah, I'll see y'all next time. Peace out, everyone. I'm hype, and I hope you guys are hyped too, because it's going to be a crazy, crazy time.